What I would say is the single most important is going to be your listing presentation. So listing presentation is more important than appointment setting skills. Listing presentation is more important than learning the art and science of how to handle objections. Because when you deliver a powerful enough listing presentation, you are going to become instantly courageous to pick up the phone, to ask an extra question and make an extra
Yep.
phone call, and you're going to convert way more people.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Vulcan7 Coaches and Mentors, where we bring you some of the best tips and strategies so that you can implement in your business right now and skyrocket that with a lot of success. Now, with today, we have an amazing guest, an amazing coach, Chadi Bazzi.
Happy to be here. I love Vulcan7, love your content, love the real estate industry so much, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to make a difference today. So thank you for having me on.
Yes, thank you for being here. For anyone that's watching that may not be familiar with you, can you give us a little bit of your background so we can get to know you?
Good. So I'll give you the short version very quickly. Guys, that's a long resume. Again, my name is Chadi Bazzi, and I grew up in Dearborn, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit, where my real estate career began over there back in 1997. Did pretty well in that marketplace, and I wanted to make $100,000. And the biggest challenge I had is that my average commission check was about $700. So I was like, how many deals do I got to sell to make $100,000? So then what I did is I wanted to make $100,000. So I never finished school. So I went in 1999 to work for a gentleman by the name of Mike Ferry to get what I call my college education, because I never had a college education. Did very good very quickly in that company. And in 2004, went back into real estate in Orange County, knocked it out the park very quickly. Actually did $100,000 in commissions put together in my first 30 days. Took my first listing in the first 24 hours by using the telephone and making a phone call. And then I went to work and helped Don Ferry build up his company at that time, and got to the point to where at that time I was also in charge of training the coaches at that time that were underneath the umbrella at that time. Created the Expired Edge program, the Sales Edge program, and another marketing solution program. Had the most in-demand one-on-one coaching schedule. In 2011, started Top Listing Agent, my company, and been on over 35,000 one-on-one coaching calls. So there you go.
That's amazing. So much. So what I want to touch on today that I know that you're an expert on is, setting appointments, having better conversations with people. Because what I see happening is that agents, they are able to perhaps get someone over the phone, but then they get stuck with setting an appointment, going to the appointment, and actually getting a contract signed and walking out of there with something. So talk us kind of what does that process look like for you, whether it's for yourself or any agents that you coach?
Yeah, so we work with a lot of agents that primarily use the telephone for their lead generation. And where most people knock it out of the park, Loida, is that one of the things that we say is that get it going and then get it right, because most people are so stuck in their head that they want to master this script and they want to master this objection handler almost to the point that they never take action. And in reality, it's creating the result is always easier than we make it out to be in our head. So the first thing that we do is we say, take action. But as you take action, what you should be doing is you should be documenting the action that you are taking. Meaning at the end of every single conversation where you did not get an appointment, you need to be asking yourself, what could I have done differently? Why did I not get the appointment? Because that's a new learning opportunity, that you've identified that you need to learn. But to make yourself very effective on the phones, you need to master what's called the sales process. Most people don't understand what is a sales process. People in this industry think just because they are a people person, they are going to do transactions. I wish that was the case. I'm instantly reminded of Donna that I worked with. She's out of Texas. And when we first started to work with each other, she's done 0 transactions, like 1.5 years in a business, 0 transactions. We start working with each other. And I said, let's get it going and then get it right as we build up the sales process. The first 3 months, absolutely 0 transactions, a lot of appointments because she's a people person and people like to be around people that they like, but they loved her, but didn't do business with her until she learned the sales process and then went on to take 22 for sale by owner listings that she sold in the next 9 months. So what does the sales process look like? Okay. The sales process begins right here. It begins in your mind. Okay. So can I walk everybody through the 6-step sales process?
Absolutely. Yes.
Because, all right. So step number 1 is to assume the sale. Assume the sale. Like you're getting on the phone with the intention of setting the appointment. So you have to create that result in your head before you can create it in the physical universe. And the reason being, we're not like fluff, woo conversation. It's not that you're going to think positive and positive things are going to happen. You're going to think positive, and then you are going to transfer a positive energy that is going to make an impact on the receiver of that energy. So step number 1 is assume the sale. Assume you are going to set the appointment. Assume they are going to pick up the phone. Assume they're going to be okay that you call them. Assume that they still have a desire to sell. Like assume. But that's only part of step number 1. Step number 1.2 is you got to now learn to use assumptive language patterns. And what I mean by that is you can't assume that you're going to set an appointment and say something along the line of like, Mr. Seller, should we get together? I mean, there's already incongruency there. What you are assuming, what you are speaking have to be in perfect alignment. Mr. Seller, when we get together, when we set an appointment, when we begin negotiations, or you're at the listing appointment and you say, Mr. Seller, as the agent that you have selected to represent you, I'm sure you want to know what it is that I'm going to do to get your property sold. Like we're speaking as if we are already a team and this is going to happen. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, build rapport. Build rapport. Okay. You got to get people to like you, trust you, respect you so they could listen to you. Until you do that, they are not going to give you a shot. You might accidentally create a shot, but most likely they are not going to give you the shot. Now, building rapport is an art. There's a science to it. And this could be a very long conversation. So if anybody wanted to know more on how to establish rapport, they can reach out somehow, some way. We got a lot of YouTube videos on that that they could explore. So step number 3 is the discovery process. The discovery process, what we mean is, qualifying. Okay. And most people get that incorrectly, Lloyd. I mean, you've been in the business long enough and you know that everybody wants to qualify somebody. And then, 9 out of 10 times, what are they qualifying for? Hey, I'm qualifying for, do they have a need? Do they have a want? Do they have a problem that I could solve? What is their time frame? What is their ability? What is their authority? And that's where people stop. Now, where we are very good at converting is we take that a step further and we say, we got to qualify for what 99% of the agents don't know how to qualify for. We qualify for, how does this person think? How do they think? This other person on the other end of the line, this other person that I'm trying to get a listing from, how do they think? And when we discover how they think, we can then alter, shift, and change our presentation, our energy, the words that we use to impact their thought process. Then we take it a step further. How do they make decisions? Because if we don't know how to make decisions, then it's a 50-50 shot that we can get them to make the right decision. And then how do they process information so we can give them the information in a way that fits them to make it a no-brainer to want to do business with them. And step number 4 is obviously presentation. Step number 5 is the close, which we don't even close, because if we build rapport, assume the sale, use assumptive language patterns, impact their thinking, impact their decision-making process, then guess what? They're going to make the decision on their own, and they're not even going to give us any objections. And that's the sales process in 5 minutes or less.
That's awesome. And for those of you that are listening to this, you might want to go ahead and rewatch this, take down notes, because everything that was just laid out is exactly what's going to set you up for success. So, Chadi, for anybody who is maybe in the process of transitioning from being a buyer's agent, or maybe they're doing consistently 2 to 3 listings a month, but now they want to, double that, what are some strategies that they can start implementing to get to that level?
Yeah. I would say the strategy is going to be different for every single person because everybody's coming with a different, level of experience and a different skill set. I would say the first and most important thing that they need to do is they need to keep track of the numbers, and the numbers will tell them exactly which one single strategy they need to focus on. Now, in my opinion, in generality, what I would say is the single most important is going to be your listing presentation. Because look, you're a Vulcan7 customer or somebody else's customer, and you're generating the data every single day, and you're, banging the phones every single day for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, however many more hours. The single purpose you're doing that is to get yourself into somebody's living room. Okay. So if you get yourself into somebody's living room and you don't got a strong enough listing presentation, then all that time was like literally wasted. And you're just like, waiting to hit the jackpot, and you will hit the jackpot every once in a while. But if you're very purposeful in delivering the absolute best listing presentation in the marketplace, then you are going to be converting 80+% of the people that you meet with. Now, one of the things that we do in our listings on demand training is we start out by having you write out a listing presentation script. So choose any guru. It doesn't matter who. We all have, great stuff that fits different personalities. Choose a listing presentation and commit to the memorization. And then go further and go into internalization, and then take it further using the sales process for customization. Now, we have a ton of clients in our listings on demand community, and every single one of them delivers the same exact listing presentation using complete different language patterns that fit their personality and their selling style. Now, if you're not a sales master, then you are going to need the assistance of a sales guru to help you do that, whoever that might be for you. So listing presentation is more important than appointment setting skills. Listing presentation is more important than, learning the art and science of how to handle objections. Because when you deliver a powerful enough listing presentation, you are going to become instantly courageous to pick up the phone, to ask an extra question and make an extra phone call, and you're going to convert way more people.
Absolutely. I feel that a lot of agents, they get on the phones or whatever they do for prospecting, they want to get listings, but then here comes the appointment and they're not even ready for it. And I always say you have to know your listing presentation, because then that's going to motivate you to continue making those calls when someone is mad at you. And you're going to know what to say because you're going to be ready to show up and get that contract signed.
Yep. And it's a lot easier than we make it out to be in our mind. And I'm instantly recalled to when I first started selling real estate, and I got on the phones and I made a ton of contacts. Like, I had no idea exactly what I was doing. I literally made a ton of contacts and I set an appointment. Now I know that I set that appointment by accident, by default. It wasn't because of skill. It was because I put in the actual work ethic. And then what happened after I set that appointment, Loida, is I was crippled with fear because I didn't know how to do a listing presentation. Yeah. I'm like, what if they ask me this? What if they notice that? Guess what? I never showed up to the listing presentation because I was that afraid. And since then, I've made it like my primary focus that is the number one thing I needed to learn, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it brought me back to when I was learning my listing presentation and internalizing it. I was reading it, I was writing it, I rewrote it like 5 different times. And that's how I memorized it. Because for me, once you have it memorized, then now you can start incorporating it, tonality, making it your style. So it's going to be different from other agents. And then that's what's going to get you the results. And if you get that along with a coach, let's say someone like yourself, then forget it. You're going to be a listing master.
Game over. So look at this picture.
Yes.
She's blindfolded. That's exactly what we do in our training is we get you to the point to where you can deliver your listing presentation with your eyes closed, because right there, that's extreme, unshakable,
Yeah,
high level of confidence. So if you're watching this video, master your listing presentation and then deliver it with your eyes closed. And I guarantee you, you'll begin to magically set more appointments, go on more appointments, and take way more listings.
absolutely. And I say that from experience. I did the same thing. And I did it so much that even up to this point, I know exactly what letters and what words and what lines are on what page. And if you flip it over, it's crazy. But again, you can either be an average agent or you can be one of the ones that is going to take this very seriously and be extremely successful with it as well.
100%.
So, what other strategies can you provide in terms of going after listings or lead sources to focus on right now? Because a lot of agents might think, the market is a certain way, buyers are not buying, sellers are kind of holding off. So, like, what can you leave us with in terms of that?
Yeah, I will say, I mean, the first thing, which is like a constant conversation right now, everybody's like, should I stop doing this? Should I start doing that? Interest rates are doing this. The economy's doing this. The marketplace is doing this. Sellers market, buyers market, etc. I'm going to say that's a constant conversation for the rest of your real estate career. And you need to stop having that conversation, because that conversation is impacting everything that you do every single day. Now, I've been in this industry for well over 25 years. And in over 25 years, the best tool for lead generation has been this. Okay. Has been this. Now, I'm not saying don't do online marketing and all that stuff. I think there is a time in your career where you're ready for that. But until you master the sales process, it doesn't matter how many leads you're bringing in if you are poor at lead conversion. Now, for the majority of my winning clients, and we're talking about people that went like from 3 deals to over 100 deals in 1 year, Loida. Okay, I'm sure you know a lot of people
Wow.
that have
Yeah.
these, quantum leaps. It came from primarily 3 different sources. Number one, of course, into tapping into the people that you already know, your database and your center of influence and all that good stuff. But some people don't have that, so there's only 2 other major sources that we need to be tapping into, and that is for sell by owners and expired. Get over this freaking damn thought process of they want to sell on their own. We know they want to sell on their own. That's why they listed it on their own. But we also know that over 80% of them are going to use the services of a real estate agent. Why not you? Expired. Certain marketplaces, hey, tight market, nothing's expiring. It's okay. That woman I just showed you a picture of, she had the same exact conversation of saying there's no expireds. I said, okay, let's pick up expireds from the last 2 years and let's make phone calls. And she listed 41 of them in 1 year, 41 old expireds.
Wow.
Now, doesn't matter what service you're using to get the data. You can get the data for the last couple of years and make the phone calls. There's plenty of leads. Primary focus for sell by owners, expired in your database. And of course, then you can do other stuff.
There you go. And picking up the phone, because just like you said, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it, and they're going to be the ones getting that paycheck.
Yep.
That's my mentality too.
Talking about picking up the phone for the people that are watching this, and specifically for the people that are having a hard time picking up the phone. Look, pick up the phone. I was on a training about a month ago with a woman by the name of Michelle. She's like, I need to start calling for sell by owners. I'm paying for this freaking damn debt, a couple $100 a month, and I'm not picking up the phones. And I said, okay, what do we need to do to get you to pick up the phone? She goes, I need to memorize the script. I go, perfect. You got 24 hours to memorize the script. Can you do that? She's like, yes. I go, but I like speed. I like fast action. I ain't going to wait 24 hours. You got 24 seconds to go and get a for sale by owner number right now. Right now. She got the number. I made her call the person right away, and she set an appointment.
There you go.
Action, fast result, man. Get out of your head. Get into action.
Yeah. Too many agents are overthinking it, thinking that they have to know absolutely every single objection handler. And look, at the end of the day, you just have to get out there and make the calls. I remember when I would be making these for sale by owner calls, and these FISBOs would tell me, hey, you sound like you're asking me a whole bunch of questions. So then that just told me, okay, I need to get better, and I need to get smooth with the way of that I deliver what I'm saying. And over time, that's how you're going to continue to get better. But if you don't do it, someone else with less skilled is going to set appointments, get those listings, and get those paychecks.
Happens all the time.
So if anyone is interested in any of your coaching services, how can they find you? What do you offer? And how can we get a hold of you?
Yeah, I think that the best way to get a hold of me is, anywhere on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, primarily YouTube would be the place to go. So you could, watch the videos, experiencing me. And if I'm your cup of tea, I'd love the opportunity to work with you. And if I'm not, I'd love to support you through my content anyways. So if you just Google me or my name anywhere on social media would be a good starting point.
Okay, perfect. There you go. And we're going to make sure to put all of your links in the description box below as well so that people can find you. Well,
Awesome.
Chadi, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, the systems and processes that you use. And hopefully after this session, a lot of agents are going to start picking up those phone calls and getting over that fear of rejection and set more listing appointments.
Can't
All
wait to
right.
hear.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Chadi, and we'll see you on the next one.